Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It is a very mild start for us so far this morning. Temperatures are mainly in the 60s. It feels pretty comfortable outside. We will talk about, though, how long that lasts coming up.
And breaking news from overnight, a serious crash leaves an SUV badly damaged. What we know about this crash that also involved a rental truck.
Yeah, it's another day in the Sandhills. Here's sunrise, and it's beautiful out. The temperatures are great. It is cut day here, so that means it's not just any old day on the links. They'll cut the field more than in half today. Good morning to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Chris Lovingood here with Renee Chu. We have to seize the day, Renee, because it's a big day for the U.S. Open. As you said, it's cut day, so we got to see right now. I think, what was it? Rory McIlroy is tied in first right now. A lot of people watching what's happening there.
And Patrick Cantlay, up at the top there of the leaderboard. This should be at the top of the leaderboard in terms of sunrises. Just absolutely beautiful out there. But it's going to be the hottest day of the week, and we'll get you prepared for that. Meteorologist Anthony Baglio out on the WRAL weather patio, where temperatures are feeling fine now until we get to the afternoon.
Yeah, it actually feels pretty decent out here, guys. I mean, the humidity, you can feel a little bit of it, but it's really not going to be too bad here starting off our morning. Let's get you updated, though, on temperatures. We're at 67 currently in Raleigh and Durham, 60 in Goldsboro, 62 in Clinton. It's nice. We got the sun coming out. It's a good start to our morning, but it's going to change up quickly here as far as temperatures are concerned. We go to 94. Check that out. I put the pool graphic on there because it's going to be such a nice day. If you have some time this afternoon, take the kiddos to the pool, or you yourself, if you just want to enjoy here, get some relaxation in through the rest of today. We're in the tolerable category as far as our muggy meter is concerned, and it should stay that way here for probably the next 5 days or so, where you'll feel it a little bit, but it's not going to be off the charts as far as humidity is concerned. We have a big area of low pressure offshore that could spark a few showers as we get into tonight. We will walk you through that timing coming up the next time we meet here in a few minutes.
All right, Anthony, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We want to give you a live look now of what's happening in those eastbound lanes of I-40. We've been monitoring it since we came on the air at 4:30 this morning. The camera's a little blurry, so forgive that. We don't have any control of that. But this is I-40 and White Oak Road there in Garner. But state troopers are working a crash on the eastbound lanes of I-40 near the Clayton bypass. So you can see the major traffic backup that it's causing in those eastbound lanes this morning. And this is what it looks like on the sensors this morning. It's beginning to clear up just a little bit, but I would recommend using Highway 70 as an alternate route for now until this really gets cleared up. Elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major roadways are delay-free at this hour.
Ken, thanks. Breaking news overnight, a large number of police officers investigated a scene on Dandridge Drive in Fayetteville for hours. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Police got there on scene in response to a shooting call around 12:30 this morning. We are trying to learn more about what happened there.
It is going to be an extremely hot day in Pinehurst for round 2 of the U.S. Open today. WRAL's Jeff Hogan is at Pinehurst #2 today. And Jeff, those fans are really needing to fill in to be prepared for another day of this record-setting heat.
Yeah, gates are open, and I think if they've been listening to us, they're going to pay attention and do the right thing here, because we've been talking about it all week, that heat. But, you know, it's the cumulative effect of day after day now, and that can affect the players as well. But it's starting to take control, not just the golfers. We noticed some interesting trends among the fans recently. There are more than 12,000 grandstand seats around the course. Many were left empty because people just don't want to sit there and bake in the sun.
I think third or fourth water bottle fill up, and a few Cokes, yes, and shade wherever we can.
I mean, right now with the shade, it's very nice, but earlier out on the course, it was very hot.
They're coming in just needing a sunscreen, Band-Aids for blisters, walking around a lot. We've had a few that are coming in, especially later in the morning as the heat is picking up, and some of the older patients aren't familiar with walking this kind of distance.
Now, as far as the golf is concerned, take a look at the leaderboard. As you see, Patrick Cantlay, Rory McIlroy right there in the top spot, tied at 5 under par. Akshay Bhatia, by the way, the Wake Forest product I told you about yesterday, 2 under par round, so very good for him. Now's the time. The course is hard enough. This U.S. Open Championship is hard enough. see if the weather can help with the attrition of this tournament as well. Back to you, Chris.
It's good to hear about that about Oshke. Thanks, Jeff. The first tee time this morning is at 6:45. Not long from now, McIlroy and Scheffler will tee off at 7:29. Woods will tee off at 1:14 this afternoon, and Cantlay will tee off at 1:25. Just a reminder, WRAL is your home for the U.S. Open. Be sure to tune into WRAL for all the action from the first tee to the 18th green. Network coverage begins today with the second round. And Jeff Hogan, as you saw, he is out there this morning leading our coverage on WRAL. He will join us live in about 30 minutes from Pinehurst number 2. And you can get all of your content on your phone, tablet, and TV.
Today, President Joe Biden will meet with Pope Francis during the G7 summit in Italy. The Pope also plans to sit down with 8 other heads of state today. Biden's meeting with Francis comes one day after he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. They signed a 10-year bilateral security agreement. It includes a multi-billion-dollar loan to help Ukraine defend itself against Russia. Biden says it sends an unmistakable message to Russian President Vladimir Putin. We're working to learn more about another crash overnight in Fayetteville. This was the scene at Rayford Road near Skybo Road around midnight. And you can see the damage to this black SUV in this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can also see a budget rental truck was involved. We have calls in to learn what led to the crash and whether anyone was hurt.
Neighborhoods are underwater and people are stranded in Florida. This is because of record-breaking rain causing widespread flooding. 5 counties in South Florida are under a state of emergency as millions remain at risk. And parts of the state have gotten up to 20 inches of rain since Tuesday. Authorities are warning people to stay off flooded roads. The storm is being blamed for 2 deaths. The area is bracing for even more rain today, and that could result in even more flooding.
The legality of the state's voting districts is back before the courts. A 3-judge panel heard arguments yesterday about partisan gerrymandering violates voters' right to a fair election. The North Carolina Constitution guarantees the right to free and frequent elections. It does not specifically say we have the right to fair elections. Former state Supreme Court Justice Bob Orr argued it's clearly implied if it isn't in the text. And he says drawing districts so one party or the other will win violates that right.
What good is a free election if it's not a fair election? What good are frequent elections if the results are preordained?
Well, my answer to that is that if they're free and frequent, they are fair.
The lawmaker's attorney, Phil Stretch, says it would be a mistake for judges to invent a new constitutional right. They are asking the courts to dismiss the lawsuit.
Former President Donald Trump says there is unity in the Republican Party after his meeting with GOP lawmakers. The meetings on Capitol Hill were a sort of pep rally of sorts ahead of Trump's presumptive nomination as the Republican candidate for president. For the first time since he left the White House, Trump was reunited with Senator Mitch McConnell. McConnell told reporters their meeting was, quote, entirely positive. Not every Republican was there, though. At least 3 Republican senators skipped the meeting, citing scheduling conflicts.
Bargains galore will be on US 301 today and tomorrow. Thousands of people will be stopping at sales on a 100-mile stretch of the road. They call it the Endless Yard Sale. WRL's Kelsey Coffey is live in Johnston County this morning. And Kelsey, this is a massive event for that area that's been going on for years. And you know what? If you shop, that is all part of your research for this story.
Renee, I like how you think. And we're just less than an hour away from the start of the yard sale, so you can see some vendors that are already getting set up right now. So we're right around the corner from Selma Middle this morning. This is one of the places that will have vendors set up along 301. But let's take you to some Sky 5 video from last year. The sale spans across 5 counties and more than 100 miles along US 301. This event is designed to promote economic activity and tourism here in North Carolina. You can buy antiques, collectibles, clothing, and more, all sourced from different groups like nonprofits, restaurants, and shops. The sale is today and tomorrow from 7 until 5. If you want more information about where to find those vendors, just go to our website, WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
The College World Series gets started today in Omaha, Nebraska. In the first game, UNC will take the field. They'll play Virginia, and that game will get started at 2 this afternoon. NC State is also in the 8-team tournament. The Wolfpack will play their first game tomorrow at 2 o'clock against Kentucky.
Worries about ambulance service in one Nash County town. What the mayor says needs to be done to make sure people can quickly get the help they need.
And a wildfire that is forcing people from their homes in Arizona is spreading. The effort to stop the fire that's already destroyed at least a half dozen homes.
As we check out where we currently sit here humidity-wise, there is definitely a little bit of it out here. Tolerable, though, for us across the area. We will talk about how long that lasts and our Father's Day weekend forecast coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Okay, so not to be confused with the WRAL Azalea Gardens. Okay, we are still at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. So we have our gardens here. We have a patio as well. And I know Anthony Baglione is on the patio right now. I feel like we might have similar temperatures right now as well, Anthony, but I got one thing that you don't have. I got a Payne Stewart statue down here, so I think I win.
Yeah. I'll give it to you, Jeff. I'll give it to you. But thankfully, we're starting off this morning weather-wise. Like you said, we have the flowers out there. It's not too bad here. The flowers in the distance are looking beautiful at both gardens. We're going to start to heat up pretty nicely as we go through the rest of today, though. So those flowers are going to be needing some water as we go into the weekend, especially. 94 there for you, Jeff, out at the U.S. Open. Feeling a little bit humid, so just keep that in mind. 92 tomorrow. We go to 91 on Sunday. So I've got a lot of 90s for us in the forecast for the weekend. It's not going to come, though, with any rainfall to disrupt the play out there at the U.S. Open, but we could use a little bit for those flowers. 67 is currently where we sit in Raleigh, 61 in Roxborough. Southern Pines checking in at 62. Again, a little bit of humidity. I can kind of feel a little bit of moisture out here in the air, but it's not too bad quite yet. 90s there as we go into the Father's Day weekend.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. I want to start with this live look of I-40 in the eastbound lanes. This is White Oak in Garner, but state troopers have been working a crash on the Clayton bypass in the eastbound lanes of I-40 for the last hour. So this is actually beginning to clear up quite a bit. It was bumper-to-bumper traffic for a little while there. This is what it looks like on our sensors this morning. Just right now, the bumper-to-bumper traffic, and it's clearing up just a bit, but we'll keep an eye on it and keep you posted. An alternate route might be Highway 70, depending on where you are for right now this morning. A couple of other crashes on our sensors this morning, not causing any problems for your morning commute.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, the inmate who escaped after a court appearance in Houston is back in custody. This is him. They captured him around 3 o'clock this morning. His name is Nigel Sanders. He was being brought back to jail yesterday when he was able to escape police. A search was underway last night. They did consider him armed and dangerous, but police have confirmed they captured him around 3 o'clock this morning. They say currently he's in the hospital for being tased. That is just a precautionary reason to have him in the hospital, just to make sure he's okay to go back to jail. As soon as he's released, they will transport him back to jail.
Likely facing new charges for escaping. Thank you, Michelle. New this morning, at least 10 people are dead and more than 2,000 tourists are stranded after landslides in India and Nepal. This happened in the Himalayas during heavy rainfall. Local authorities say the rain and the landslides have also left roads, bridges, and dozens of homes badly damaged.
Firefighters in Arizona continue to battle a massive wildfire near Phoenix. The fire started Wednesday afternoon and quickly spread across 160 acres. The fire is being fueled by strong winds and the dry, scorching heat. It has destroyed at least 6 homes. People who live nearby are being told to evacuate the area.
We walked out and looked and saw big plumes of smoke, and we decided to head for the hills.
Officials say this fire was caused by a human. As of this morning, the fire is 20% contained. Firefighters are working through triple-digit temperatures to get it under control.
There's concern that there may not be an ambulance available for people who call for one in Ashe County. Bailey Mayor Owen Strickland feels that basic public safety needs in his town are lacking. The town doesn't have ambulance service, just a volunteer fire department. And he says right now the ambulance comes from Mount Pleasant, where sometimes it's staffed or sometimes the 2 ambulances are out on a call. Now, Strickland says that it is not out of the question to wait 25 minutes just for transport.
And every time there's not an ambulance available, we are rolling the dice.
Nash County officials say there are 20 vacant EMS positions.
Starting next month, you'll have to pay to ride on a Go Raleigh bus. The bus service has been free since the pandemic for 4 years now. Ride fares will be reinstated in July. Passengers can expect to pay $1.25 for one trip or the discounted 60 cents per ride.
There are lots of fun events happening this weekend all across the Triangle.
That includes a Juneteenth celebration at Dix Park in Raleigh. The Capital City Juneteenth celebration happens tomorrow at Harvey Hill at Dix Park. So from 1 to 6 p.m., there will be entertainment, food vendors, and family fun. WRAL's Ken Smith and Lena Tillett are emceeing this year's event. WRAL is a proud community partner.
And tonight, enjoy some live music from Dave Matthews Band at Coastal Credit Union Music Park at Walnut Creek. Also happening tonight, Dwight Yoakam will be live at the Red Hat Amphitheater.
Tomorrow night, enjoy a free screening of the movie Minions: The Rise of Gru at Joyner Park in Wake Forest. The movie night starts at 7:30. It includes a meet and greet with the Minions, followed by the movie at 8:30. For more about this and other events in the area, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
All right, we're going to get back out to Anthony right now. Anthony, you know, Jeff was talking about one thing he had that you don't. It's like, look, we got a bronze statue of a bunny riding a bicycle. We have a lot of things happening here at the Azalea Gardens.
Yeah, well, and I'm thinking you have that beautiful shot of the sun in the background. I'll raise you one here. We have the gorgeous Carolina Beach off in the distance. How relaxing is that, right? To start our Friday to head into the weekend. Waves are kind of bouncing around a little bit, but there's not many people out there quite yet. I think that will be a different story as we head into the weekend with how busy it's going to be. I want to emphasize, though, keep in mind, here's a look at our rip current threat for us today. In fact, this looks like it was just updated, too. They've kind of changed some of those along the Wilmington coast to low is what we're looking at. But if you're headed to a place like Ocracoke down to Atlantic Beach, that's where we may see the red flags flying today. If you see those out there, even if it's a low rip current threat, be careful across the beaches. And I also want to talk about, too, rip currents, you may think they might pull you under. If you ever, unfortunately, were to be caught in a rip current, they will never pull you under. They just may pull you out. So the thing is to swim parallel to shore, and you will eventually get out of that. But just keep that in mind here this weekend. That's due to this system that's offshore, 20% chance of development. It's kind of a tropical system that went through Florida. It's pushing offshore, and I don't expect any major development with that one, but I do think the rip currents could be an issue this weekend. We head here down to the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. This area right there has about a 40% chance of development. What that's saying is it could get closer to Mexico and bring a chance for our first name system, which would be Alberto. We'll watch that closely, but it does not pose any big threats at this point, aside from some rain down in Mexico. We head outside this morning, 67 there in Raleigh and Durham, 65 in Fayetteville, it's 62 in Southern Pines. I can tell you just standing out here, there's a little bit of moisture in the air. As a meteorologist here, I'll just like feeling, see if it's a little sticky as you walk outside. There's a little bit. It's not too bad here, not super concerning as we head into the weekend. 94 there for us today, upper 80s and low 90s through the weekend. We go to 92 on Monday, 93 on Tuesday. Our Father's Day weekend actually looks pretty good. I do think tonight we could see a chance of just a spotty shower coming through after, let's say, about midnight or so. This model's a little bit soon on that coverage. Not going to be a lot, though, for us. Check out all the 90s here in the forecast. 94 today, 90 tomorrow, 89 on Sunday. We continue that trend into next week. We are going to need some rainfall if this pattern verifies, which I think it will. Just a slight chance there, guys, as we get into late tonight and early tomorrow morning.
All right, happening now in the WO Traffic Center. We continue to monitor these situations that's happening in the I-40 eastbound lanes near Johnston County. That crash near the Clayton bypass is really in the clearing phase right now, so it's really beginning to clear up. That's the lingering backup that we're seeing this morning. So if you're heading that way, by the time you get there, I think you'll be free and clear this morning. A couple of other incidents we want to bring your attention to. This crash we've been monitoring for the last hour, so not causing any major problems on Fayetteville Road in the northbound lane near Old State Road. Just watch for that police activity and be careful there. Over in northern Durham County, we're getting reports of a serious crash in the eastbound lanes of Highway 70 there near the Eno Trailer Park. Again, our sensors are not picking up any major delays in the area, but elsewhere around the triangle, all the major routes are delay-free.
Ken, thanks. A local college student is stranded in Florida as heavy rain causes dangerous flooding. Why she says flight cancellations aren't just costing her time, but money.
Plus, Kate Winslet is opening up about her experience filming one of the most memorable movie scenes ever. Why she calls the Titanic kiss scene a nightmare. That's in What's Trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
So one of the most romantic scenes in film history apparently wasn't all that fun to shoot.
Ken Smith is here now with What's Trending.
This is what all hopeless romantics don't want to hear. Well, in a new interview, Kate Winslet says that first kiss between Rose and Jack in Titanic was a nightmare. She said she and Leonardo DiCaprio's makeup smeared all over each other during every take. She also says she couldn't breathe, and these are her words now, in that, quote, bloody corset.
That corset just is like an entrapment, right? And then she talked about how she ended up looking like she had been sucking a caramel chocolate bar after each take because his darker makeup would rub off on her. She had lighter makeup, and then his face would look like there was a part of it missing because he had this pale makeup. Well, they made it look good, though.
I know.
And they had to do it over and over, too, to get the right lighting. And
the magic of the movies.
Tough work there. Yeah.
Hey, take a look at your screen. Definitely don't want you to miss this. The world's tallest dog. This is Kevin. He's 3 feet 2 inches when he's on all four legs and about 7 feet on his hind legs. Guinness World Records recently certified him with the record. His owner says Kevin doesn't realize he's so big, and by the way, he's afraid of the vacuum cleaner.
I think that's like just, dog breed specific, where they're afraid of vacuum cleaners. But also the fact that he doesn't realize he's that big, I like that. Cha-Cha, my dog, she just fits on my shoulders, so I'll carry her over. But I couldn't do that with Kevin. Kevin would just flat me on the ground.
Not even close.
Big dog, big heart. Well, the Florida Panthers are just one win away from winning their first Stanley Cup. They beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-3 in Game 3 last night. That puts them ahead in the series, 3-0. They'll have a chance to finish the sweep and hoist the cup in Game 4 tomorrow night in Edmonton.
All right, Swifties, I need you to grab your Kleenex. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. It's coming to an end by the end of the year. During her 100th show of the tour yesterday, Swift announced the last show will be in December, and she thanked all of her fans for their efforts and for coming along the ride. The Eras Tour has spanned 5 continents and will log 152 shows, and it's helped a lot of small businesses. Don't worry if you haven't made it to the show just yet. She'll be back in the States this fall, and she'll then head to Canada, with her final show being in Vancouver on December 8th. WRAL is staying on top of breaking news. An SUV and a rental truck are involved in some sort of serious crash. What we know about the wreck this morning.
As the sun comes up here on our Friday morning, so far so good. It's a little bit muggy. You can see the American flag right there. We're going to time out our weekend forecast and show you how it will feel going forward coming up.
Speaking of timing things out, we've got tea times on the way here. The gates are open, fans are streaming in right now, and we'll be back with what some of our locals are up against here today with a tough leaderboard.